Hey, my name is Sean, and this is my journey to my first deal. I've been talking with the seller now twice already, and so the third time I'm talking to her on February 16 on Sunday. And as I shared after the second conversation, it felt like she wasn't going to move forward because the terms and the structure just didn't work out for her, which I completely understood. I gave her really not so great numbers. And so, what I decided to do, I did a lot of research on the sub two, the Zoom vault, talking to a lot of experienced sub two folks. And then I was talking to actually the person who invited me to sub two. He's a capital raiser and a great guy. And then he's like, hey, what about the Morby method? And I was like, initially, the Morby method in a portfolio of 6 properties, 9 doors would not be ideal, especially for my first deal. But I started thinking, because I believe I'm just a really good creative problem solver. So I was like, man, what if I just do one property at a time and I do the Morby method? And so the Morby method essentially is I would use a DSCR loan and would give a down payment of 70% to the seller. So initially, the seller was like, I have to get at least 25% down payment, or it just, it's not a win for her. So with the Mori method, I'm able to give her 70% down payment, which is above and beyond her expectation. And so here's now the Mori method, the special aspect of it. The rest of the 30%, um, she would sell or finance it to me. And so the way it works is at the close of escrow, I would put in the 30% down payment for the DSCR lender. And then after the close of escrow, we would do another contract, another escrow, and it's all guaranteed and I'm protected, where the seller will give me back the 30%. So if the house is 230,000, the 30% will be 69,000. The seller would give that back to me. Now I'm in this deal with zero money down, out of pocket, and then now I would need to pay the seller, and I negotiated a 0% interest at a 40-year amortization, which comes down to about $150 a month that I would need to give to the seller. And so right now we have it where maybe it's a 10-year balloon, but I put a caveat that the property in 10 years would have to be 80% of the fair market value in order for me to provide that balloon to the seller. If not, I get another 5-year extension. And in that 5-year extension, I would still pay her the $150 a month in order to pay her off. And so that's the Morby method. Now, I know some people, instead of paying your own out of your own money the 30%, they would use a private money lender. But for myself, I'm gonna these houses are so low in the purchase price, I'm just probably gonna use my own capital so that I don't have to pay the fee for the private money lender. And so, long story short, I pitched this to the seller, and I'm so proud of myself because just it was very clear. It was with conviction. It came off very credible because the seller is a very smart person, and she was like, wow, that's something that I could do. Like, I could for sure do that. And the fact that I was able to negotiate the seller financing portion with 0% interest for 40-year amortization. I was really shocked that she agreed to that. But again, I recognize that initially she was like I just really need 25% down. And the fact that I was able to creatively solve that for the seller and provide 70% down, and running all the numbers, I'm still able to cash flow after 10% property management fee and 10% capex and vacancy. I'm probably going to cash flow anywhere from 200 to 400 a month in net cash flow. My cash on cash return is upwards of 30-40%. And I get sweet story out of this, which is what I'm really looking for, so that I could just build my credibility and my confidence. And so the third conversation, and I'm probably now about 8-9 hours into the conversation and just investing and adding value and building credibility and building rapport. It paid dividends in that way. And also I just learned how to flex that muscle of clearly explaining what creative finance is, what the Morby Method is, understanding the seller's motivation and their pain points and their bunnies, and also being able to respectfully share how I could win and that we could both win. Man, the third conversation was really, really good. And so we left the third conversation saying, hey, the seller wanted to talk it over with her financial people and different things. I'm like, yes, please go ahead. And again, for me, it's about the long game. So if this doesn't work out, it's not an issue with me. And I really believe that. And so I think it really came across that way. And I just really wanted to make sure the seller felt really comfortable and to feel any questions or concerns they may have. And so that's why the conversation went longer, but I was very happy to answer all those questions. And so the third conversation went really well with the seller. And then so, it was basically like, you talk to your people, I'll talk to my people. And now after this, which will be my next video, I needed to get to work because I had now some concerns on the next steps.